Has Navy broken the Warpath? We are gonna discuss that today because I think basically that Navy actually hadn't broken Warpath as such, but they have released Navy prematurely. Like they didn't plan it well long enough. They had all the time in the world to do it right, but they didn't do it right. So that was okay. This attack has gone haywire. We failed to kill the guy. Anyways, I think our RT was just getting assembled and the Ambir attacked prematurely. Yeah. Anyways, things happen. So what I was talking about is that, in my humble opinion, the developers released the Navy without giving it much of a thought. Like they planned the naval units and everything, and they were too busy planning about balancing the units that they lost their focus on events and tournaments from the player's perspective. For example, I'll give you the example. Now there is spy catcher going on. Navy has been in Warpath for like 6+ months now. You can't do sky catcher on the ocean right now. Like even after 6 months of naval release, you can't do sky catcher on ocean. There are no naval bunkers. To do bunkers, you have to come out of the ocean still. And they will be releasing the bunkers in December, according to my information. It can be further delayed as well. December is the earliest that they will release the naval bunkers. So imagine playing the game for 9 months without having ocean bunkers because they didn't even plan for it. They didn't plan the spy catcher to be done on the ocean, so they didn't thought through all of this. They should have thought and planned this all through. In my humble opinion, developers could have done a much better job. They need to be criticized. There are many other events and things like you can't do. For example, I'll give you an example here. Just in these events, if you go mechanical mayhem, you can only select ground wrenches like the ground and air wrenches and premium universal material. You can't select naval wrenches as of now, and it's been 6 months that Navy has been in the game. So if you're trying to get naval wrenches, you can't get them from here. So there is no option. So they should have thought this through before releasing the Navy. They should have given all these options to develop the Navy. Now developing Navy is much harder because you don't give all these options in the events as well. And even the ground development has been delayed because if you give the naval wrenches option, you will not be getting the ground wrenches and the air wrenches, so you will be losing out. So you have released a whole new branch in the game that delayed the progress of the players on the ground and air, and you still haven't given people the reserves to play with it. Like the number of reserves you got to have before the naval release, like 33% for ground if you divide equally, right? 33% for air. There should have been 33% increase in the total number of reserves with the naval release. You are releasing a whole new branch in the game, guys. Whole new branch of fighting. And now because they didn't increase the reserve limit in time, there are like staring contests. Players don't want to fight each other. No, there is no 1 versus 1 going on in legendary or higher division gold divisions because players run out of reserves if they try to kill bases. So they just wait for the AGs and fleets to fill up and then go and then get low on reserves, and then one day they just try to recover the reserves. There is no fighting going on, just bases sitting across other bases doing a staring contest. Nothing is going on. Few kills here and there. There is less activity because they didn't increase the number of reserves in the game when they released the naval units. I think the players are to be blamed for this as well, because why would you not demand for developers to increase your limit reserves? Like you are releasing a whole new branch. I hope I'm getting my point across, because you are releasing a whole new branch of units. There are 3 arms, like even in real life: ground, air, navy, right? Now ground and air were already in the game, so you had the reserves limit like let's just assume it was 14k or 15k, right? 7.5k for the land, 7.5k for the air. There was a good VN. Okay, now with the naval release, the total reserves limit should have increased to like 21k or 22k, but they didn't increase it, and this is the problem. Players didn't demand it. Obviously, the developers are not going to give you the higher amount of reserves. They want you to buy the reserves, which are very expensive. So why not demand the right thing? Players didn't even demand it. I checked the forums on the game, on the Discord and everything. Nowhere I've seen players demanding increase in the total number of reserves when the Navy came out. I mean, that was obvious. That was the first thing they should have done as developers. They should have increased the number of total reserves, so there could be more fights, there could be more naval battles, there could be people should be able to participate in more activity and more battles, more engagement, more fun uh, when they have more reserves. So this is the common sense for the development of the game. They had to do this, and the events were not thought through. They released all these events with the Navy. There are so many others like that came out, and there is nothing that gives you gold. You are just spending more gold in VIP shop because there are too many new options. There are chips going on. There's naval wrenches. There are these naval components, refined components, other components. I mean, there is so much naval stuff that has been added in the game. There are compute chips and all that, and the gold you get from the game is more or less the same. There has just been few hundred increase in some events in here and there. So basically, it's been a waste, complete waste. The way they have introduced the Navy. Navy is great. They should have done it, but they should have done with much more better preparation than this. I think, in my opinion, it has completely ruined the gameplay. Now they are forcing players to like bring on navies and play navy, and all those these maps are being reworked. That's fine. Maps are being reworked. That's fine, but you need to like cater to the players. The progress of players has been halted. There are so many players selling their accounts because of this mess, because they don't know how to develop the navy now. Because they can't even develop the ground and air force right now. So the retention of players is going down, and when players start quitting the game and leaving the game, eventually your revenue will drop. No matter, even if it's spiking for now due to level increase, it won't last. You have to gradually increase your revenues by increasing the player base and activity levels. So this is the challenge. I think developers have completely messed up the navy, in my opinion. They should have thought this through. They should have brought in more events that gave more gold. They should have done more events that gave more naval wrenches. They should have done more events like introduce naval bunkers right from the first month the navy was introduced. They should have done the spy catcher naval version on right the first month. From the first month the naval units were introduced. So I think there's a complete mess that's going on. In my opinion, they need to change this. They need to do something seriously fast enough to work this through. They need to plan things. I mean, this is just too long. Just to launch naval bunkers, they have taken like 9 months. That's not acceptable because they never really planned, thought through that they will have to do the naval bunkers. They should have done the naval bunker thing like from the get go, from the first month. So I think Navy, the way they launched Navy has jeopardized Warpath in big way, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? Do let me know in the comments.